In a world where honor clashes with betrayal, a disgraced veteran finds himself homeless and forgotten, framed for crimes he didn't commit. But when a deadly plot targets Donald Trump at a public rally, this same man rises to the occasion, risking everything to stop a Tesla rigged as a bomb from causing chaos. What unfolds is a gripping tale of redemption, courage, and justice, proving that one act of bravery can change everything, even a life shattered by lies. The scorching Afghan sun hung heavy over the desolate village. Dust swirled around the boots of Sergeant William Harris as he led his squad down a narrow path flanked by modest homes. The air was tense, laced with the sounds of distant chatter and the occasional bark of a stray dog. Harris had been stationed in Afghanistan for months, navigating not just the harsh terrain but the moral battles of war. That morning, orders had come from above. Intel claimed that a wealthy section of the village was harboring weapons of mass destruction. Harris, a soldier who prided himself on his integrity, felt an uneasy chill run down his spine. The mission smelled wrong, but orders were orders. His squad moved methodically, securing the perimeter of a sprawling house. Inside, the so-called weapons were nowhere to be found. Harris radioed the all-clear, but his superiors weren't satisfied. Colonel Richard Grant, a man Harris had come to distrust, sent in a select group of soldiers to investigate further. Harris was instructed to stay outside and secure the area, but curiosity and instinct gnawed at him. Disobeying orders, he slipped inside. What he found shocked him. Soldiers rifling through the home's belongings, pocketing gold jewelry, fine rugs, and even a small, intricately carved wooden box inlaid with gemstones. "This isn't right," Harris whispered, his voice barely audible over the rustling of stolen goods. His presence startled the men, and their faces hardened. Harris reported the incident to his commanding officers, unaware that his words were sealing his fate. Days later, Harris was accused of theft when a diamond from the looted house was found in his gear during a surprise inspection. Colonel Grant and his accomplices painted him as the scapegoat, and 3 other soldiers who had witnessed the events were silenced with threats of dishonorable discharge, or worse, harm to their families. Harris stood before a military tribunal, his voice steady but weighed with frustration. "I didn't take anything. This is a setup," he declared, but the evidence, fabricated as it was, spoke louder than his words. He was stripped of his rank, dishonorably discharged, and sent back to the U.S. Back home, Harris's world crumbled. His military career had been his identity, his pride. Now he was a pariah. News outlets latched onto the story, branding him a thief. Employers slammed doors in his face, unwilling to take a chance on a man with a tarnished record. The fallout seeped into his personal life. His wife, unable to handle the constant stigma and financial strain, filed for divorce. His modest savings were drained by mounting legal fees as he fought to clear his name. Eventually, Harris found himself with nowhere to go. He drifted to the streets of a mid-sized American city, where the chill of the night air gnawed at his bones. Yet even as he navigated shelters and soup kitchens, his military training and sense of honor never wavered. He held his head high, refusing to let despair consume him. In his makeshift camp near a quiet neighborhood, Harris noticed strange activity in a nearby house. A group of men, all strangers, moved in and out of the garage at odd hours. Their hushed conversations were in a language he recognized from his time in Afghanistan, Pashto. The men worked on a sleek Tesla vehicle, its hood propped open, wires snaking out like veins. Harris watched from a distance, his sharp eyes cataloging every detail. While he couldn't tell exactly what they were doing, his instincts screamed that something was off. The men's guarded movements and intense focus hinted at a purpose far beyond routine maintenance. Harris memorized their faces, the Tesla's license plate, and the faint scratches on its paint. His gut told him he might need this information later, though he couldn't yet piece together why. Harris heard whispers of a major rally in the city, headlined by Donald Trump himself. Despite the controversy surrounding the former president, Harris saw the event as a chance to plead his case. If anyone could shine a light on corruption within the military, it was a man who had built his reputation on speaking loudly and drawing attention. The rally's security was intense. Streets were cordoned off, metal detectors lined every entrance, and uniformed officers scanned the crowd. Harris blended in, positioning himself near the barricades, hoping to catch Trump's attention as he approached the stage. As the crowd buzzed with excitement, Harris froze. Across the barricades, guiding vehicles into the secure zone, was none other than Colonel Richard Grant. The sight of his former superior, now part of Trump's security detail, sent a surge of anger through him. Harris clenched his fists, his thoughts racing. Then he saw it. The Tesla. It was the same car from the neighborhood garage. Harris watched as Grant personally waved it through security without so much as a glance at its interior. The vehicle parked near the stage, facing the crowd. Something about its placement felt wrong, deliberate. Suddenly, the Tesla's engine roared to life. Its self-driving system engaged, and the car began moving, slowly at first, then picking up speed. Harris's heart pounded as he realized the car was headed straight for the stage where Trump was stepping out to greet the crowd. Harris's instincts kicked into overdrive. He scanned the situation, his mind piecing together the danger in a heartbeat. The Tesla wasn't just a vehicle. It was a weapon. The memories of those strange men working tirelessly on it flashed through his mind. Harris didn't know the exact mechanism, but he could guess. This was no ordinary car anymore. Trump stepped out into the open, waving to the crowd as cheers erupted. Harris tried shouting, his voice drowned out by the deafening applause. Desperation clawed at him as the Tesla gained speed, barreling toward the stage. His eyes locked on a nearby police officer stationed at the barricades. Without hesitation, Harris moved swiftly, his military training coming alive. With precision and care, he disarmed the officer, pulling the handgun from his holster. He raised the weapon skyward and fired 2 warning shots. The sharp cracks of gunfire shattered the festive atmosphere. Screams erupted as the crowd scattered, their cheers replaced by panic. Trump's security team acted instantly, surrounding the former president and whisking him toward a secure area. The Tesla, now speeding uncontrollably, was mere seconds from reaching its target. Harris acted fast, commandeering a nearby police cruiser. Ignoring the shouting officers, he slammed the vehicle into gear and gunned it toward the oncoming Tesla. The impact was deafening. The 2 vehicles collided, metal crunching and glass shattering as the cruiser forced the Tesla off its trajectory. But the damage had already been done. The Tesla's altered battery system, rigged to release its full charge in an instant, triggered a massive explosion. Smoke and debris filled the air as the blast rocked the rally site. Harris felt the heat of the explosion and the force of the impact as his head slammed against the steering wheel. The last thing he remembered was the acrid smell of burning metal before darkness enveloped him. When he woke, it was to the sterile brightness of a hospital room. His body ached, bandaged and bruised, but alive. A nurse hovered nearby, her expression one of cautious relief. "You're lucky to be alive," she said softly. "They told me what you did. You saved a lot of people." Harris tried to sit up, wincing as pain shot through his ribs. Memories of the explosion rushed back, mingling with the sight of Colonel Grant's face and the Tesla's suspicious entry. Later that day, Harris received an unexpected visitor. Donald Trump himself entered the room, flanked by Secret Service agents. The former president's expression was a mix of gratitude and curiosity. "You're the man who saved my life," Trump began, pulling up a chair beside Harris's bed. "I've been told you're a former soldier. Mind telling me your story?" Harris hesitated, then told Trump everything. His time in Afghanistan, the fabricated charges, and the years of struggle that followed. He explained how he'd noticed the Tesla, recognized the danger, and acted on instinct. As Harris spoke, Trump listened intently. When the story ended, Trump leaned back, his face a mixture of anger and determination. "This is unacceptable," he said. We're going to get to the bottom of this." An investigation was launched immediately. The remnants of the Tesla were analyzed, confirming Harris's suspicions. The bomb had been rigged using the vehicle's battery system, a method designed to bypass standard security checks. Colonel Grant's involvement was exposed. Surveillance footage, combined with testimonies from Harris and other witnesses, painted a clear picture. Grant had facilitated the attack, allowing the rigged Tesla into the secure zone under the guise of routine protocol. As the truth came to light, Harris's name was cleared. The media, once quick to vilify him, now hailed him as a hero. News outlets ran stories of his bravery, highlighting his selfless actions that had saved countless lives. Trump, true to his word, didn't let Harris's story end there. At a public event, he introduced Harris to the world. "This man," Trump said, his voice booming with conviction, "embodies the best of America. He stood for what was right, even when the odds were against him. And he saved my life." Trump announced that Harris would join his personal security team, a position of honor and trust. The crowd erupted into applause as Harris, humbled but proud, stood beside Trump. For Harris, the journey had come full circle. From a soldier betrayed by his own to a man redeemed in the eyes of the nation, his story was one of resilience, courage, and the enduring belief in doing what was right, no matter the cost.